Did you press record?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
It's recording?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. And
clap. Welcome back. This is Same Mom, Different Dads. Internationally known Same Mom, Different Dads. I'm Julian.
I'm Coty.
And we are real DIY right now. So I hope this works out.
I mean, not so much DIY. We've always been
DIY.
Yeah. we don't have a production company, but let's just say our...
Not a production company. What?
Our producer set us up to do this on our own today. So we're trying to be a little bit more self-sufficient. But welcome back to the Post Pride Ponderosa.
Absolutely.
Do you remember on Basketball Wives when Jackie Chrissy was like, we need to have a Ponderosa? And the girls were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what's a Ponderosa?
According to her, I didn't find this definition in the dictionary, but according to her, a Ponderosa is when you get together and get everything on the same page. And Julian and I have had some time apart recently.
Not time apart. Not time apart.
Julian and I have been just doing our things. And he has had to go to work in Atlanta. And you also skipped over the pond too.
The who?
Across the pond.
Oh, yeah, across the pond. And then, but just overview. We had like birthdays this month. It was Pride this month. So it was a lot going on.
The Pride and the birthdays.
Sorry for our absence for those who are checking for us. Internationally checking for us.
They're checking now.
But yeah, I was in Atlanta for a job obligation and opportunity. And I wasn't exactly in Atlanta, although I did work in Atlanta for a day, which was really cool. But I was in the countryside of Atlanta, I think. I was in Covington, and apparently Covington is a popular city.
It sounds like a city in like in Twitches or something.
Not Twitches, but Twilight.
Right, something.
I don't know what they did, but there's like a whole Twilight themed restaurant in Covington. And that's where Twilight was filmed. But I was doing production work in Covington for a show, for work, doing my work thing. And it was a really cool experience. I don't always like saying I don't like saying what I do for work or like what I work for, because
you can say what you do, but just don't like.
Yeah. People look at me extremely different in the moment when I tell them what and who I work for. And I'll share that at a later date. But yeah. But I worked on a production in Atlanta, and it was my first time being back in Georgia since we lived there. You had visited.
Like 2 times since we lived there since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I did like once when I was like 16. The next time I was like 19. So it's been a while for me.
Yeah, it was actually culture fucking shock for me. Like, because we were in like the countryer side of Georgia. And so like we were passing through all of these small towns, and I was just like, and I saw a school, and I was like, oh, this reminded me of the elementary school that we went to when we were out there. And I was just like, fuck, it's been like such a long time since I've been out here. I don't want to come back. There's literally nothing in the South for me, especially in Covington, because that is like it just feels like racism. And
I mean, like, I have family in Atlanta, so there's stuff for me out there.
Yeah.
And it's a cool city from what I have experienced, but just growing up on the West Coast and traveling to the East Coast, for me, I get those eerie feelings of like, even when I like went to Ohio once, I went to a cemetery that was made in like the 1700s. So it's like all that history, I feel like it lives on the land, but Southern history has a little bit of pain encoded to it. So it's like,
and
it's intense.
But that's what it felt like. Like, do you know the Back to the Future like little town that they were in where like the clock tower was?
Yeah, there was Universal Studios.
Yeah, downtown Covington literally looked like that, and there was like a statue of like some World like one or I don't know. It was some racist white man, but I was like, they need to take that down. Anyway, but
you've seen them all.
yeah, I got to like wrap kind of because I left early to go to London, but I kind of wrapped my second TV experience through work, and that was like once in a lifetime. I was working on a popular show that like literally everybody knows, and it was really, really dope to see all the behind the scenes, how everything comes together. And just that experience was literally once in a lifetime, and I can't wait to do it again. And even like before I got there, you know, like I'm not always, my wits aren't always there. If you really know me, you know that like I'm kind of a ditz.
Well, yes.
And when I left, I kind of almost had a red eye. I think I had a red eye flight to Atlanta. And when I, like during mid-flight, my phone just completely froze. And I was trying to get it to restart the whole time.
So this started on the flight?
It started on the flight, yeah. And I couldn't figure it out. And like I was connected to Wi-Fi.
Sitting there in silence.
I mean, I was watching movies and stuff, but I was connected to Wi-Fi. I restarted my phone. I was on airplane mode, but I tried to fix my phone and it literally would not work. And so I'm like, okay, let me just turn it off. When I land, it'll be cool. And I'll just turn my phone back on because it'll restart. So I turn my phone back on and it doesn't fix the problem. It's literally frozen. It won't do anything.
On what screen? Was it just black?
No, it was on my home screen, and like the thing would pop up to put in your passcode, but it just wouldn't work. And I was like, what is going on? And of course, you know, I start to freak out because that's just my nature. And I couldn't figure out
do it.
That's literally what it was. And I couldn't figure out how to reset my phone. And so I immediately just start panicking on the inside. And I land, I go, and I'm like, hey, is there like a plug anywhere? I'm asking people around.
You asking people for the plug?
In Atlanta. And I'm like, is there a plug anywhere so I can like restart my phone, plug my phone in? I pull out my laptop and I try to put it into my phone into my laptop, thinking it'll restart or whatever, and it doesn't. And I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? Because I needed to get an Uber back to the hotel that I was at. And it was like a company Uber. So I was like, fuck, I don't want to have to pay for an Uber because where I was staying was like 30, 40 minutes away from the airport. And so I immediately just like pull out my laptop. This is the only way that I can start communicating with people. And I DM like my friend Chris, because he works for Apple. And I'm just like, I'm trying to troubleshoot on my own, the best of my ability.
Shout out to Simone too, because she was trying to help your dumb ass.
Even mom, I tried to FaceTime her. It was, all my FaceTimes were going through to mom, but it just wouldn't work.
Your FaceTimes weren't going through to me.
Yeah. And then I DM'd you guys in the group chat on Instagram. You tell me what to do. I look up what to do. Chris tells me what to do. And
the information was there.
The information was there. I thought I was doing it, but lo and behold, I wasn't. Because every time that I was trying to do those steps to restart my phone, it just wouldn't work because I was doing it incorrectly. And so Coty ends up getting me an Uber. And
first of all, on my end, I'm already taking care of something for him because he's like, oh, you weren't answering your phone or whatever. Why are you up in arms? Calm down. So you were like, oh, you weren't answering your phone. And I was like, well, I was going to go sell your EDC ticket.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot you were doing that. Yeah.
See how the defenses get lower? The Aries, better chill. But anyway, I'm over here selling his EDC ticket. Then I get like blown up in his DMs and my Instagram notifications are off. So that's why it took me a minute to get to it. So I'm like, not only am I out here doing a favor for you, now I got to do Captain Save a Ho from across the country.
Absolutely, as you should.
And then my mom is calling me every 2 seconds, it's getting late over there and he shouldn't be.
It was like midnight when I landed.
It really was midnight.
And I was so tired. I was just like, let me just get to to the hotel. I just want to get to the hotel, please. And so he calls me an Airbnb.
I call you an Uber.
Woo! Anyway, he calls me an Uber, and I go out of the airport thinking the Uber is going to be right there. I went out to the arriving side, so I'm like, where's the Uber?
Mind you, I was scared for him to find the Uber because once I confirmed the Uber, they sent instructions on how to get outside of the terminal
screenshot
with
those.
pictures. I screenshot them and sent it to Julian, but I already knew that could have got mixed up. But once I saw that there was like a map and shit, I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was not for me. I was like, wait, where's the Uber? And keep in mind, I had my laptop open, trying to run through the airport with my luggage, making sure that I didn't lose the Wi-Fi connection. I'm literally running across Atlanta's airport, trying to get to the other side of the airport to catch my Uber. But I ended up getting in the Uber, and I made it through. So, yeah.
But when you got there, the next day he went to AT&T, and then he was like, y'all, I got my phone on. I feel stupid. And I was like, of course. But what actually happened? And the instructions for how to hard reset your phone is to use the up and down volume button and the lock button. This fool was flipping the damn volume, the switch to make it go on vibrate and silent.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think I was just in panic mode, and I thought I was doing it right.
I'm just thinking to myself, it's like switch versus button. You know what? And that's where it ends right there.
Yeah, but anyway, I had a really great time in Atlanta. Like, I got closer to my coworkers, and that experience was literally like a once in a lifetime thing that I'll experience, and I literally cannot wait to do it again because like now I know the vibe. The next time I'll be able to stay the whole time because it was just really like a once in a lifetime thing. Like, people don't get to experience what I got to experience. But it also made me realize that Chili's is fucking horrible. So we were in a hotel.
Wait, for a little happy hour, I'll pop in the Chili's?
No, Chili's is horrible. I will never go back to a Chili's, ever. Our hotel was literally in the same like parking lot. There was 2 hotels there, I think. And in the parking lot, there was a Chili's right next door. So that's where everybody went to like go get drinks, go get food. Keep in mind, this is the country. Like, there's nothing out there. The Chili's is horrible. I will never go back to Chili's again. One of the times that we were there, because we went there like 3 times, and one of the times we were there, I wanted a Caesar shrimp salad. They brought me out lettuce and a side of cheese that goes on the Caesar salad.
The Parmesan?
Yeah. And it was a shrimp Caesar salad. That's a tongue twister. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, and I'm just like, okay, well, where's the shrimp? And the waiter's like, oh, we ran out of shrimp. We ran out of shrimp. And I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me that before I ordered the Caesar shrimp salad?
Right.
And then I was like, okay, well, where's the dressing? And they're like, oh, that comes on the side. I'm like, okay, well, bring out the side of the dressing. I will never go to Chili's again. Were there croutons on there? I don't know.
Because that's a Caesar salad is like the romaine lettuce, croutons, the cheese, the dressing, like at least those 4. Without any one of those 4, it's not a Caesar salad.
I don't know, but I will never go back to Chili's. I will never, ever go back to Chili's.
They call it a Nicoy salad at Chili's.
Yeah. So then after like that whole Atlanta experience, I came back just for like not even a full day because our niece graduated from middle school.
Was that coincidental or did you plan that?
No, I did not plan that. Honestly,
I was like, yeah, I don't take you as a kind of girl to be 3 steps ahead of yourself.
All right. But I did not plan that. I just, when I was figuring everything out, my last day that I could be out there was like that date. And then I came back for Brooke's graduation and I went there for a little bit and then I went home, packed, and then I made my way to London.
What was in London?
Beyonce?
Talk about it.
Well, I mean, like, I left you alone for a little bit. Like, you...
Okay, true. Well,
yeah.
I was alone for London and Atlanta included for like almost 3 weeks. I was living by myself.
Yeah.
First of all, quiet. I enjoyed the peace.
I don't even make that much noise. You are a lie.
It's funny that it's just saying that got you louder and you started making more noise. But I enjoyed the quiet. You know what? The best part is like your mess is your own mess. Like there's like nothing else going on. I just mean as far as like, if I left the kitchen clean, I know I'm gonna go back to it clean, you know.
And you be leaving cups in the living room,
okay,
like for 5 days straight.
I'm notorious for. I think I use a good like 3 or 4 cups a day. I forget which one.
I don't know why, but you leave them literally in the living room for 5 days straight.
Not 5 days.
No, there's one sitting. No, mom is there now, so.
Anyway,
yeah,
we could go back and forth all day about cups. But while you were away,
did you host?
I got maybe once. But
who was it?
It's neither here.
I'm pretty sure I know who it was.
You have no idea. I promise you.
Okay.
I promise you.
All right.
I wouldn't promise you if I didn't promise it.
All right.
But anyway, while you were gone, you missed the best part about being gay in LA. Well, not so much in LA, but just you missed Pride rolling around here. But
actually Mariah Carey and Meg
was a treat.
Yeah.
Meg was a treat. And then I saw Tinashe as well.
Oh shit, yeah.
What's her does her fan base have a name?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I would be part of it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Tinashe eats.
I'm a Tinashe stan at this point.
Yeah.
Like all hands on fucking deck. But you know, Pride is always interesting. Julian and I have a very funny Pride memory where we all went out once, and then remember we talked about how we got split up and all that. And we left you in the car.
Oh yeah, you left. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you didn't leave me in the car. I
Yeah.
went back to the car as a responsible adult.
No,
because I was too turned, and I was like, let me go to the car because I can't keep it. I can't carry right now.
It was a collective idea, and we all walked you to the car. I have a video of you walking to the car. Should I show it?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'll show it.
But the thing was, you couldn't find me after.
That was the catch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all walked you to the car, but I forgot where the car was. Anyway, Pride is always fun. It's a mixture of sometimes there's somebody cool performing, but usually it's like a little.
Yeah.
There's
Who performed when we went that time?
I
I don't remember.
don't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, there's that. But yeah, so we went to Pride, and I like Prides because it's you meet people, and you also run into random faces that you haven't seen before.
Random.
Well, not random, but I just mean like
faces.
familiar faces that you haven't seen in a minute, like some old flames, some old friends. And I ran into, I guess, an old flame that I previously spoke about on the podcast. And
I got no comment on that one.
Let's see.
Let's.
I mean, just to update y'all, I ended up running up into said person at
Running
Motherload.
up. What's running up?
Wait, I said running up.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to. I didn't run up. It was that kind of run up, not a baddie's run up, but I ran into the person at Motherload, and then
Who is this person?
the person that I spoke about before, like a couple episodes ago.
Okay, we might have new watchers, new viewers. Like
That means they need to go back and watch the previous episode.
Oh no, but you could give us a little synopsis.
A synopsis was he lied to me and I cut him off. And
That's it.
I mean, pretty much. Is there? Do you want to say it?
You want me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna let you have that one.
Thank you. So
I'm not gonna do that on the
let's
Same
slow down.
Mom, Different Dads podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's slow down a little bit. So I'm gonna tell my story. I ran into him and we kind of like talked things out for like a good 2 hours in the bar. And at this point, this was late that Sunday night. I was kind of turned, and we like reconciled. I kind of heard some things that I wanted to hear.
Like what? I'm sorry.
Being apologetic and accountable, accountable for some things that happened, and
being a fuckboy.
I mean,
being
the accountability was there and it felt genuine. So I'm just gonna go from that, and then we'll see where we go.
What's her name on
from
Married to
there
Medicine?
as friends? I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Run that shit back. That's what he needed to do.
Yeah. So, prides are always interesting.
Okay.
Do you have any fun pride experiences?
I went to Pride with our cousin Julian.
Wait, New York Pride. We went to New York Pride.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
Yeah, we talked about that before, where you peed in front of a bush like you had a vagina.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't about to stand there, so I squatted down and I pulled myself from underneath my shorts from the back. But anyway, that's neither here nor there again. But I've done like New York Pride, Mexico City Pride. That was fun.
Yeah, I've only done New York and LA.
But
yeah, we need to go to New York Pride next year, though.
I would say out of all those, I would even miss an LA Pride for a New York Pride.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like LA Pride, you just go and then that's it.
True, but New York Pride feels like a whole city thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then also because we were absent, June is like crazy because not only is it Pride, but it's also your dad, and mom's birthdays back to fucking back.
Yes.
See, as a
the Cancer
Aries
trilogy.
As an Aries, I am surrounded by cancers, passive aggressive cancers, and it gets hard.
I feel like I confront my aggression with you head on.
No, absolutely not. No.
You know what? I'll give you that. But when it needs to be confronted, it will be.
Anyway. But happy birthday to mom. Happy birthday to your dad.
And happy birthday to me. You said happy birthday to you.
All right.
So, yeah, happy birthday to us, Cancer. Shout out to Rose God, also a Cancer.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kendrick. They actually have the same birthday. Drew, Quentin, my birthday twins. And I'm doing all these shout outs. Who else are the Cancers? Shy, my homegirl at work. Manny.
Anyways, while y'all were on Cancer season, I was out in London. I was across a pond. Yes.
And I heard you was dipping in some ponds, all right.
See, that's not a conversation for this, but I was definitely out in London.
Dipping in some ponds.
Yeah, I went with the crew to London to see Beyonce. And it was, if you have a ticket already, if you don't have a ticket, you need to go see the Renaissance World Tour. Okay. It's definitely a once in a lifetime experience, just because this tour, as everybody has seen already, like it's something that is completely different for her. Like you can see it in her personality. You can see it in how everybody reacts to it. You can see how like the community reacts to it. And if you have the money, you definitely need to go. I don't want to give out any spoilers, even though everything is already out on like Twitter and the internet, but it's really a once in a lifetime experience, especially if you go with like your group, or if you are really a fan of Renaissance, like you really need to go. That wasn't a sponsored plug.
Okay.
But yeah, I just fussed with the album so much. And it was definitely an experience that everybody needs to go to if you haven't already.
Were there any other highlights of London? You were there for a few days.
I was there for a week. Yeah. So I saw Beyonce, and this is why Same Mom, Different Dads podcast is internationally known, because not only...
Let them know, Greg.
Wait, let me toot the horn
on their asses.
So wait, speaking of Greg in Atlanta, I was on one of the apps, the community apps.
An app for the community?
The community apps.
A social network, if you will.
Period. And someone that I was talking to for a little second, I was just like, you look familiar. I was like, well, I'm not from here, like Atlanta. And they were like, I think I've seen you somewhere. I'm like, oh, fuck, where have they seen me? And they're like, Twitter. And I was like, I was shook because they noticed me from when we got dragged on Twitter. And honestly, that was so embarrassing. Like,
I wasn't embarrassed.
that was really, no, for somebody to hit you up on the community app and be like, you look familiar.
True.
I know you from somewhere.
Because on the community app, we not talking about podcasts.
Period. And I was just like, oh, fuck. This is so embarrassing. But it just means I'm engraved in your motherfucking brain, bitch. But anyway.
We are really here.
Huh?
I said we are really here.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
queer.
In a short amount of time.
Back to Pride though, because I just want to say,
Why Pride?
because I went to the parade with Mom.
Oh, you
And
did?
that was my
Yeah.
first time going to the parade. It was a fun experience, and I showed my mom how to crack a fan.
Oh, she told me that you showed her how to do that. Yeah.
What'd she say?
She just said Coty showed me how to do that.
Yeah, I guess I would be the one to show her.
Anyway,
how to crack a
back to
fan.
my story about London.
Oh, I thought you was done. Sorry.
No. We went to an event I was with my friends, of course, but we went to an event. Excuse me. We went to an event and someone came up to me and they were like, you look familiar. I was like, what you mean? And they were like, you said roof. And I was like, no, that wasn't. I was like, no, that wasn't me. That was my brother. So we went to an event and someone noticed me from one of our clips on Instagram. They specifically stated roof, which was one of our clips from
a trailer.
5th episode, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And shout out. Let me get his name right. Hold on. Shout out to ZD. He's a full-on Brit, like British dude from Nigeria. He came up to me and I was shook. Like I was like, it was just weird. Like having somebody notice you from something online.
But I would probably add to that I mean, I don't have this part, but like the experience of being so far away from home.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like this happened to us the first couple of times after we released it, like the first few episodes in West Hollywood, and we're like, oh shit, like that feels
people
cool.
still do that,
and people still do, and that's like hella cool because I'm shook. Like I don't expect people to. I don't know, like it's just like we have this, but like it's just cool getting that receipt that people actually tap in.
Yeah.
And
whether or not they like see a full episode or not, like they see us and it's very just like surprising.
Exactly.
To know
like that's what I mean by tap
across the fucking world, like across the pond, someone in England who is British, who has an accent, like they came up to me and was like, you look familiar. Like I know you from something. Like that's crazy, honestly. Like, yeah.
There could be 100 people in a room. Okay. And all you need is one.
Period.
All right.
Period. But yeah,
I just turned
London
30.
was, huh?
I just turned 30.
Anyways, London was a whole experience. We can sidebar that because I still have stuff I want to say about London. Like,
It sounded like it was done.
no, it wasn't. London was crazy. I did what you do. I don't go to bed till like the next day.
Excuse?
Yeah. And I fell in love at the Afters. But my friend, it was when somebody from Atlanta, and Jamal told me, don't trust a nigga from Atlanta. So yeah, but
it took for you to be in Atlanta and go all the way to London to get an Atlanta nigga.
you know what? Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
But yeah, it was definitely an experience. I went out with my friend Chris. It was just us two at the moment. We went to this bar and we met this lesbian couple. And I didn't know this, but she eventually told me that she was a cop. She ended up showing me her badge, but she was British. Like she showed me her badge, and then, oh no, actually they weren't a couple. They were friends. And the friend was lit as hell. And I don't know what possessed her to do this, but she started grinding on my kneecap, on my kneecap. And I was like, you know what?
Oh my God.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? But I was also like, in the back of my house, like, okay, let me see if I can get turned on by this. And so I was like, let me see what's going to happen.
You really skipped over the fact that y'all was bumping purses.
You know what? And that was my trip to London. We would like to move on.
That story reminds me of in Superbad when he danced with that one girl at the party.
And her period? Yeah. She literally was grinding on my kneecap. Like, and I felt her vagina on my kneecap.
Oh, shit. So you low-key like, dry humped.
Yes. She was
is that third base?
Probably.
No.
She was lit as fuck. And
right.
but
your first little kitty.
Nothing was happening.
How'd
that
you feel
was not
after?
my first kitty.
Did you react?
Huh?
Did you react?
Yeah, I was like, get the fuck up off me. In my head, I was like, if this lady don't get the fuck up off me.
I guess that's how you know it's not for you.
I mean, she would have been my type anyway.
You would have said stay a little longer.
Yeah.
But then to close out June, I just turned 30.
You did, yeah. You know what? Did that scare you turning 30? I feel like it scared you because you were like, my last workout in my 20s.
No, I'm just dramatic.
My last grocery store run in my 20s.
And my last shit on these hoes. But it wasn't even that. It was, first of all, I'm dramatic. But aside from that, I was more excited of like, here's a new decade. Here's a fresh start. Like 20 was 20. There were ups and downs, but now we have another decade to detach from that and hopefully attach to bigger and better things, because the goal should always be to level up. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
It was to, I feel like the 20s, like, you feel like, and especially in the beginning, is like you're on like, bitch, shout out to Dawn, because she said like her whole album trilogy is that's exactly what it feels like. It's first you have like this armor, and then underneath that armor you realize that you're like bright-eyed and you're just fucking, you're doing shit. I was from like 20 to 24, you're just doing shit. And then like I would say like 24 hits and you're like, wait.
What would you say is like your biggest like takeaway from your 20s?
Biggest takeaway from the 20s is
okay.
Let me, right? I mean, I don't know. I hate these kind of questions because I really be thinking about them. But biggest takeaway is to like be more vulnerable in the moment, and to,
vulnerable.
Be in the moment, but also like be aware in the moment.
I guess.
Like,
I don't know.
Just because
I could tell you in your 30s, definitely fuck these niggas, fuck these bitches, fuck these hoes, fuck everybody. Just
listen, that's how I feel
Just
going into 30 now, though. Like that's, I was just telling my friend, I was like, 30 feels like it's me time. Back to me, Fantasia. Like, but like the 20s, you just feel like you're trying to like please people and still like find who you are through that people pleasing. And then once you're like 30, you're like, wait, like,
this
fuck
me.
that other aspect.
This mine.
Okay. Fuck,
you better lay low.
Fuck that other aspect of trying to subscribe to how other people perceive you and you living up to that. But like at 30, you're like, wait, I'm fucking here.
Yeah.
And I still got more time.
Here.
And the last thing I'm about to do is try to reinforce whatever image I've created for you in my head. Whereas like, no, like if I'm making a change, like I'm making a change.
Yeah, absolutely. Your 30s is definitely like your 20s, but with more money.
More money and sense, babes. Sense and sense.
Oh, fucking word. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Shit, because we working with a little bit more than pocket change in the 30s, but we're smarter with it. Like in the 20s, you're doing shit.
Absolutely. And we gonna stay doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a lot of fuck shit that's been going on in the news lately. A lot of
Speak on it.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like being in LA and California, like sometimes I feel like, oh, that's not gonna affect me, which is kind of like I don't know if that's a bad thing, but we definitely lived.
You're just acknowledging your privilege within this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, but that's what that is.
The whole ruling with the Supreme Court of the case of where the person used freedom of speech, which is weird as fuck, to discriminate against same-sex couples. Like, that is definitely going to open up a door that is walking into us. Well, not us, but this country, setting us back even more, which is like, it's really devastating because, we're in 2023 and it feels like we should be progressing. And there's still people in this world who are basically out for themselves. Because I don't see how, as a people, you can just be like all about yourself if you don't see something that is better for the future. And like to bring discrimination against, people that are not like you, it's really weird. And it's weird to me how there's people who are in charge of dictating things in government that we can and can't do, when it's literally just made up. At the end of the day, it's made up. That is so weird to me, and it's unfortunate. So it got me thinking, like, where the fuck can I go? If you can't be in the USA, where the hell can you go?
Okay. Because Bella No Shades, aka the USA, ain't it. The door is closed.
Absolutely.
But it really fucking sucks. And if you're gay and then throw on the other level of your ethnicity or culture, and like throw in like intersectionality in with that, like it's crazy because now there's like, you use freedom of speech to discriminate. Yes, your words can be discriminatory, but it's like that shouldn't justify you discriminating, especially if someone's not doing any harm onto you. And then back to being gay, and then having, if you are non-white, affirmative action being taken away. Like, the starting line for a white person in probably a more privileged neighborhood versus that has high merits, and even for a black person in a lower privileged neighborhood to have high merits of education, like that starting line for that white person is still totally different, and they can be seen more. So we need equal starting lines for everyone that can still hold the same position. So having that being taken away, having discrimination back on the docket to make it valid, it's fucked up. And like, yeah.
And you know what? We went to 60 Hotel in Beverly Hills, and we went to Ocean Prime in Beverly Hills for Mom's birthday. And it just stuck out to me because it's so important for Black people and people of color to be in spaces where you normally don't see people of color in those spaces, so that we can just like shift a wig a little bit,
okay,
like
but shift it,
shake it up, like we belong here too. Like, y'all are just not this exclusive because y'all have a certain amount of money or you come from something that we don't come from. It was literally only white people at the 60 Hotel, and we were the only Black people there. And I felt like a presence for us and a reason for us to be there, because a lot of, like Black people don't come to Beverly Hills. Like, and sometimes like, it's like you hear people say like, oh, we've gotten this our whole lives because we grew up on the other side of the hill. We grew up in the valley. Like, we did not grow up in LA. And you always hear like,
and shout out to everybody calling us Valley Girls in the comments. One, we see you, and secondly, we're from the fucking valley.
We're from the valley, like, and it's just like you hear people say like, oh, y'all around these white people. Yes, we are around these white people. We are making it so that if you want to come over here, like, it's
normalized and comfortable.
It's normalizing us being in these spaces that we shouldn't be in, like quote unquote, we shouldn't be in. And I just honestly, when we were at the 60 Hotel, I was like, this is a moment for us to just be who we are in this space because we too are allowed to be here. And it kind of felt like we weren't supposed to be there. Like even when we pulled up, it was like super quiet. Everybody was just laid out on the rooftop at the pool.
Okay. You can hear a fucking mouse piss
right
over the music.
And it was just like, oh, we coming in this space and we about to turn up because we're celebrating our mom's birthday. We got our own music playing. We got bottles. Like we
Bottles
can do
in the
this too. Yeah.
We out here.
And like even at the restaurant we went to, like it was late at night, but also like in Beverly Hills, it was super quiet. Like the street was just super quiet, but like it was like, yes, we are here too. We are gonna be in this space. We are gonna take up this space. We are showing that we are meant to be here, even though we don't look like you or may quote unquote have the things that you have.
I totally agree because just our presence be shaking people up. Like the Little Mermaid being black was a jump scare for some people, unfortunately.
You know, I haven't watched. Ooh, yeah, I need
I'm
to
about
see
to
it.
take your black card.
I might
for that.
just buy it on like. Do they still make DVDs?
Yeah,
No,
wherever
they
it
don't make
is,
DVDs.
you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to give it your coins.
Yeah, I need to go
so
watch
we
it,
can
yeah.
show up for our good sis Hallie for representing herself and us in such an amazing light. And it really sucks that some people that disagreed with her portraying that image reached such a scale for us to even hear about that negativity. But at the end of the day, first of all, we're talking about a damn mermaid. We're talking about a cartoon turned human.
White people. Keep going. Let me die.
An octopus that stole her voice. Girl. Like, let's break it down to the fundamentals.
Right? Yeah.
Like, we're upset about fiction, you know? So.
But yeah, it's just another reminder that Black people of color, but Black people are meant to be in these spaces as well. Like,
and watching
everybody's
that movie was everything. Like, all of us, we were like reacting to it. We clapped after Ariel's numbers, and by the time I got to Ursula's, not to say she did a bad job at all, I think she did well, but after she finished, we were like, did we clap?
Okay.
But every time okay whatever that means. But after every time Hallie's saying, we're like, absolutely. Take your time.
Yeah, you know, just white people are always going to be mad, and serves them right because they do some dumb shit.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, they take how do you say it? How do you say submersible? I don't know how to say it. Submersible.
A submersible. Absolutely. Or a submarine.
Yeah.
And it's really funny how, first of all, social media made a joke out of that. I mean,
it's unfortunate.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace to all of the families involved, everyone that was directly involved, and more so that kid that like didn't really feel too hot about going with his father, but he ended up going anyway. But some of them in there, I will just say better choices could have been made.
I would never get in a Beats pill to go underwater. Shit was the size of a Beats pill.
I won't even ride in them little white vans that are blacked out in my own city on land. No. So why would I get in something like that and to go how many thousands of feet underwater?
Yeah. I literally have no desire to go see the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean.
I'll listen to it on the iPod.
I definitely. Why would you want to go see the Titanic like at the bottom of the ocean? For what
honestly,
reason?
No, I think the whole idea is dope to go see
I don't know.
one of the most famous shipwrecks in history and go down there and see it itself. In theory, sounds amazing.
No,
but I'm not gonna do that guided on the damn PlayStation controller. Like, be fucking for real.
For what? I would not do that.
Where are you going with that?
No,
like, how are you gonna steal this damn shit with that? But once again, rest in peace to all the families involved.
Yeah.
But
that's really unfortunate.
But the way social media tied in the Little Mermaid to the submarine, their minds.
Absolutely. Which is why we're on spill now because
you really spilled with that, huh?
Yes,
Wait,
Rose
what they
spill.
say? But wait, I may have spilled.
The fact that we are Twitter reactions,
It's
blows my
hilarious.
mind. It scares me, honestly. But yeah.
The power that
Yeah.
has.
But we also want to shout out Brandy because she's getting her star
We're
on the Walk of
stars.
Fame next year. And I will definitely be there. I am pulling up. I've been to like a couple star ceremonies, like for work basis, but work basis? Did I say that right? I don't know. Work reasons. Yeah. I went to Nipsey star, DJ Khaled star. Jay-Z was there too. I've been to several star ceremonies, but I'm definitely pulling up to Brandy's star ceremony. No question about it.
Yeah, we're going to be out there.
Are you going to go?
Yeah.
You're going to have to put in for work. You're going to have to take the day off.
I just tell my clients I'm not available.
Period. Yeah. But also something else that I'm looking forward to is Victoria Monet's album. I feel like she's really going to get her flowers that she deserves. I was watching
I agree.
Party Girl's video earlier and she ate that video down. Like
Start to finish.
Yeah,
Energy was there.
absolutely.
Like the videography was great for what they were trying to convey.
Yeah. I hope this album is really successful for her because all the singles she's dropped so far, All My Mama has definitely made so much impact for everybody. Like it's such a good record. All the singles that she's dropped so far, they're like crazy. I'm really looking forward to that album. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next few episodes. We're gonna have some collaborations that we have in the works.
Yeah. Another reason why we were gone so much is because like we were trying to tie some things together to make happen, but scheduling and just like conflicts just couldn't happen. But we do
Listen,
have
this is hard. We have full-time fucking jobs.
We have careers.
You're absolutely right.
Careers.
We have degrees.
Absolutely.
And we work with those degrees in our careers.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot going on that takes into, before even filming the episode, a lot of planning.
Yeah.
So thank you for bearing with us. Shout out to anybody that has made it to this far in the episode. But aside from that, even if you watch 30 seconds to 30 minutes to 15 minutes,
it.
like I appreciate it. Like, you know, at the bare minimum, give us the engagement because we are trying to, just with this being Pride Month, closing this off on the whole inclusivity and being representation. And that was our entire mission in the beginning. And it's great that while we're out with our street team, when we're at gay bars and and we have people come up to us like, oh, I see your videos on this or that or that. Like I heavily fuck with that. It's amazing. And we appreciate it because once again, we do it to show that there are gay siblings and there are people that we feel you out there.
Yeah. And honestly for me, it's just the representation of there's so many different ways to be who you are.
For sure.
Different ways to be gay. And honestly, I was like, when we were celebrating Mom's birthday, I was like, this is really iconic as fuck. Like growing up, like we didn't know, like we didn't say anything, but just to be like now in the space that we're in, like just to be ourselves around other groups of people with our family, like, yes, this is who we are. Like that's pretty iconic. Like just on a family basis, like that's pretty iconic. And then just to open it up.
We own it.
Yeah, just to open it up and like just share our experiences, like we're carrying.
And that is going to carry us into our next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Happy motherfucking Pride. Shout out to all my alphabet people that made it through June. Listen, baby. June drags us through the damn mud, but we always make it out. We're going to July.
We're definitely going to New York Pride again next year. And we're gonna do the black shit next year. Anyway, but please make sure to subscribe,
Subscribe, watch, like,
drop
comment,
us a comment. Please drop us a comment.
share.
Let us know what you would like to hear us discuss, what you want to hear us say, share our opinions about. Thank you for all of the engagement that you guys give us on social media. Thank you for subscribing. We're like over 300 subscribers right now on YouTube, which is far beyond what I thought we were ever going to be at.
We broke 800 on
moment.
Instagram.
Yes, we are slowly like creating something that I guess people are fucking with, that they like. And I honestly like what we're doing. Like, we're showing that there's a different side to what is typically put out there.
For gay culture.
Stereotypically put out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And
but anyway, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, do all that shit, because we gonna bring all that shit.
All that shit, All right, adios.
Period.